As artists, we often have the reputation that we don't know how to manage our time and we get lost in our art. And although that's true, in the last few years, I've become a big time management nerd. And I want to share with you a few things that have helped me along the way. Hello, I'm Valkyria. I'm a digital illustrator, and today we're going to talk about time management. So, first of all, something that we have to take into account is that sometimes it's difficult to time manage. It's very hard and it changes a lot depending on our current situation. I am currently struggling a bit to go back to a work life balance and like make time for these kind of videos because I just started a new job, and more often than not with something new it's in our plate, we are going to have to take some time to get used to it. And also sometimes strategies that worked before don't work as well right now. If you hear barking in the background, is my dog. He probably saw someone on the street. I'm gonna share with you some strategies that have helped me right now and that helped me in the past because I think you might find them useful. Remember that not everything that works for me will work for you, but I think it's worth give it a shot. And maybe you can notice, okay, this part of the strategy doesn't work, but this other part does. So let's get right into it. First, calendars. Anyone that wants to manage their time needs a calendar. It can be digital or traditional or a mix of both. I personally like to use both. The digital version allows me to check in anywhere. The physical version helps me remember what I have to do. And since I've been working from home recently and I just kind of broke my ankle and I'm gonna be in my home, staying at my home for at least 2 weeks till I can take the cast off, I have a physical version next to my desk through that allows me to remember what I have to do. And I use it a bit more than the one in my journal just because I'm not leaving my home that much. When I have to leave a lot, I use the one in my journal because I love bullet journaling. And bullet journaling is actually my favorite time management technique. But that's gonna be a video on its own. Second, list instead of time blocking. This changes from person to person. There are people that prefer time blocking. I personally prefer lists right now. Why? And here I think is the important part. When I was in uni, I will use like a mix of both. I will use time blocking, but mainly regarding my classes. So let's say I have a class at 10 a.m. I will make a list of things I had to get done before 10 a.m. because at 10 a.m. I will have that class, and I will organize my schedule based on what classes I had or what other compromises I had. Right now, I am kind of 100% free in the sense that I can work at 3 a.m. if I want, or I can work a 9 to 5. It's pretty free in that aspect. So, managing my schedule around specific things that I do every day no longer works for me. So, I move to lists. I have a list of things that I have to do during the week or during the day, and that works as a guide. A little change that had helped me is this is super silly, but it really worked for me. I work better when I have headphones on, even if I'm not listening to music. And I started using candles. So if I have a candle lit on, I am working on my part-time job, and if I don't, I'm working on another thing. For example, this YouTube video. Those kind of things allows us to separate the spaces even when we can't physically do it. I try to keep my list around 3 to maximum 7 items. I don't know where I saw that you could be up to 8, but so far 7 is been my maximum. And I try to prioritize. And I also want to start implementing one priority is going to be work, like the work that I'm getting paid for. The second priority is going to be my personal brand. You call it making a video or a reel for Instagram, like personal marketing. And the third goal, I want it to be something like health. For example, I've been procrastinating getting some blood samples that I need for my doctor, and I have to do a bit of. I have to call the clinic so I can schedule the thing and stuff. So yeah, I want to try to make every day at least two of those three, because I know the work I have to get done is gonna get done, but my personal stuff and my health, not so much. So I have to prioritize it. Start with the task, don't think you have to finish it. Procrastination is really, really hard to beat. But for me, it's easier if I just start without the intention of finishing. Procrastinating is a defense mechanism. Your mind feels threatened by whatever you're gonna do and tries to avoid it as much as possible. It's probably because it's not gonna be as good as you want it to be, so perfectionism plays an important role in procrastination. Or maybe you're scared you won't be good enough. Again, it could be perfectionism, self-esteem issues, or a bit of both. But there are a thousand reasons because you procrastinate. More often than not, I'll start something and I'll tell myself, if I don't want to continue in 2 minutes, I don't have to. 9 out of 10, I end up doing it anyway. Once I started, even if it's just sitting on my desk and opening the document I need to edit for work, I feel good continuing. And I think, and like take this with a bit of salt, but I think this is because our brain doesn't like having open loops. So if you start something, it wants to finish it. 4. Leave your phone. I struggle a lot with this because my work is literally social media. I am working in social media for both my part time job and I want to make a living out of creating content. So my phone is super important. But at the same time, if I don't leave it, I'll probably won't get anything done. If I can just plan stuff on my computer and leave my phone away, I have way less distraction. Because first, yeah, I can open Instagram in the computer, but it's not as good to check reels on Instagram on the computer or read certain stuff in the computer. Like I got used to reading on my phone and I know it's not the best for the eyes, but that's a problem. That's a video for another day. Not for today. If I am using my computer or some sort of physical notebook, that allows me to have less distractions. I use physical journals to keep track of my tasks and stuff I have to do because it's way less distracting than the screen and easier to handle for me. This is completely personal. Like, I know people that can handle their shit in Notion or Apple Notes or whatever, but I rather do it by hand in a journal. And also because I work so much in screens, because as I said, I work on social media, creating content for other companies, I like to have something that is not a screen to work on. And I like to keep my progress in there. I like seeing what I've done. You can do this in other apps like Notion, of course, but each person has their preferences, and I like pen and paper. Start with something simple, then eat the frog. What's the least resistant path you can take? The easiest task to start your day. Do that little thing and cross it from your list to get going and feel like you did something. I'm literally writing this script on my bed on my phone. I know this is not the best for my sleeping hygiene or my posture or things in general, but it's all I can do right now because I'm getting my shit back together and small progress, it's still progress. And I'm cuddling my dog while I do this. So, yeah, that's good for my happiness. I am close to finishing this script, and that will be the first thing I get to cross on my list today. This is something I enjoy doing that gets me going and doesn't require scripting. Is something that I actually enjoy doing a lot. I love writing. If you want someone to write for you, call me. Call me. I love it. That gets me going and that doesn't require that much effort for me. In a moment, I'll do a second part of advice. Eat the frog. There's a task from work that it's terribly boring. Boring as fuck. and tedious. It's not even hard to do, but I really don't enjoy it. Not even my boss wants to do it. That's why I have to do it. But I'll get over with it soon. And that will allow my mind to stop thinking about the task. And I'll also feel accomplished because I finished that task. Or even if I don't finish it, add my progress. In my list for today, it says like work in the task. Do at least 10 of the things you have to do because there are like 40. Sometimes we get so caught up in perfection and finishing everything in one sitting that we forget the small steps are also important. Do a small, easy task first to get that desire of crossing off your list first, and then eat the frog. Do something, or at least start something that you don't really want to do and that you've been procrastinating, but you know it's like due tomorrow and you have to. You should be doing that. You know what I'm talking about. We all have those things. Small steps are still steps, and it's important to keep moving forward, especially if you want to learn how to manage your time, because at the end of the day, it's the only thing we have. We have time, and if we don't know how to use it, we're going to waste it. Those were a few things that had helped me with my time management. Let me know if this is something you would like me to talk more about. See you in the next video. Bye.